right. Today's stream is brought to you by Willowwood Camp on Rice Lake. Look them up. Check them out. Fantastic place to go and get away. We had a good time there. All right. Welcome to One Page Story Extravaganza live stream with Run Z Man. I write and illustrate a one-page story every day based on ideas that come from viewers like you. Maybe today will be your idea. Okay, hi everybody. How you doing? Listen, I got a couple things planned. The image that's up on the screen right now is the one page that I started yesterday. I just haven't had a chance to color it yet because as soon as I got home today from an appointment, I immediately had the power crash on me. So that made things interesting. All right, yeah, my screen's kind of stinking, but that's okay. We're okay with that. So anyway, so this image up here, a little bit of story behind it. I'll pull that off there just so it doesn't irritate people. Hiya, Linda. Hiya, Tim. Okay, so the image that's on here is page X of the alphabet book. And so the idea is that yesterday we started doing this from a bunch of suggestions from people. Those suggestions included Xanadu, which is why you've got Olivia Newton-John and Genghis Khan there. And then there's the third is that is Xanadu. That is actually Xanadu. And then beside that are Xeroxes of Xanadu. Nobody Xeroxes anymore. They print things. It's a printer joke, folks. Huh? That's why you come here. It's for the yokes. And then down below that, we've got the X-Files. There's Scully and Mulder wondering, what's the deal here, Mulder? I don't know, Scully, but if superheroes show up next, we're going to know there's a serious problem. So there's the X-Men beside them. And you know, that's not as bad as if we come across that haunted xylophone again. What? What? A haunted xylophone? Anyways, so there's the page. I'm going to jump to the overhead. So this is one page, which you know we talked about a lot. This is what came out recently, a couple months ago now. And you know, really appreciate people picking this up, and a lot of lovely things being said on Amazon from those that are purchasing it. And this we finally got our copies of, which is the next book, Alphabet Book. So now we've got two of these hardcovers out, and there's more. This is the cover mock-up for One Page Story Extravaganza 2, which is going to Amazon Monday. So we'll be releasing it for the very end of the month, though. So end of the month, this goes on Amazon. Very excited. Very exciting stuff. And it will also be a hardcover like these. And you can see it's got red on the side there, just like our red here. Right? And I also gave a sneak peek on the book that's going to be coming out in December. And I showed that on the stream yesterday. So, the stream, Linda says, congratulations on your next book, cool progression. Hey, thanks very much, Linda and Tim. So, that's, this is the three things that we're going to have with us at the con here in London. I've got a convention I'm going to tomorrow, but we'll only have these two guys with us. These three will be what will be on our table in September, mid-September. Very exciting stuff. Very different books. One Page 1 and 2 are made from the suggestions that people give us online here. One-page story ideas, 3-word prompts, a piece of dialogue, whatever it is. And then Alphabet Book is this is inspired by a phrase or a word that is focused on a single letter of the English alphabet. And but the hot goss on this, folks, is that do not eat if seal is broken. This includes multiple letters of a lot of the letters in the English alphabet. But what it doesn't include is a page with the letter X on it. On the bottom of each of the pages in the book is the letter in the title for the page, and but no X. The reason for no X is, once again, right here. So I thought we'd do an X page together, and so that's what this is. And so we will we had a lot of fun doing this yesterday for those that joined us. So I haven't finished doing the text yet. I'll have the text done and I'll have it posted today after the stream. So in the meantime, I'm gonna play a little bit, and I hope that you're interested in playing along with me. Now, I'm just grabbing from down below here a sheet of plastique. And the reason that I'm after a sheet of plastique is because we're going to do something fun and silly. Now, here's the sheet of plastic that I'm using. This is all kinds of page layouts. Whoops, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong camera. I apologize immensely. Here we go. So, this is a sheet of plastic that I drew a bunch of page layouts on. And for a book that I did a while back. Now, we're going to take this page with the plastic, and we're going to make a mess. Well, why are we doing that, Chris? Man, am I glad you asked. So this is, what am I missing? Oh, the water. Hold on 1 second. Just got to get my water spritzer. There he is. We call him Crazy Larry. So here's the water spritzer that I've got. And I've got I'll show you this. This is a container, one of the drawers, right here beside me in the studio, and you can figure out where that is in relationship to me by watching a studio tour. So this is in the area where I've got wood carving stuff, lino cut carving stuff, the jelly plate stuff, and some watercolor stuff, a bunch of stencils, and the modular stuff, the three-dimensional stuff that I build that I don't really show on the stream here. So what I was going to do is take some of these inks, and we are going to do a little bit of Snap and Dragon. And if you're interested in what that is, stay tuned, because here it comes. So I've got some different, blacks, whites, just a whole bunch of different choices for us to use here. There's a lavender. Ooh, lavender. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to put some of these colors down, and I've got some different surfaces for us to do this on. Linda says, congratulations on your next book. Thank you very much, Linda. I appreciate that. And so I have a bunch of papers here that we're going to use. Okay, not this guy, he's too dark. But I've even got a couple of these. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do the Snap and Dragon stuff. Linda's got a link up for something. Is that for yesterday's thing? Okay, so what I've got here is that's the Linka Alphabet book. Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. It's nice of you. Okay, so I've got, this is just a piece of graph paper. I'm going to hold it up really close so you can see the graphs. Oh, graph-tastic. And what I've done is that I made a bunch of these when we were up at the cottage this weekend, and I had a couple of leftovers that I brought back with me. That I had one for each of the kids. I left one up there that we were doing some drawing stuff with. And I brought some home. So, here we go. So what I've got is this thing of plastic. Now, if this runs amok, and it may well do so, we're okay like that. What I mean by run amok is if I pick up a bunch of the black Sharpie pen as I'm setting this up, that's all right. We're going to be okay with that. Deep breaths, everybody. So this is, I'm spritzing some water on the plastic sheet with the ink on it to destabilize the ink a little bit and get a little bit of wishy-washy. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. For those that haven't seen this before, most people probably have. But I'm going to put some more Wawa on that. Half of that went on my hands. Oh, and the link to One Page Extravaganza as well. Thank you, Linda. That's super nice. We got a really fun review on Alphabet Book. And immediately that person pointed out there's no letter X before I could tell everybody about the whole X thing. So, largely because I've been caught up with other stuff. So here's the ink on the, whoops, shredded it. This is a little weak, this paper. That's all right. That's okay. That's fine. It's going to be fine. We'll tape it back. But there's our first surface that's got some ink on it. And I'll put some tape on this once it dries a little bit. But I've got a my other counter all set up over here for drawing things on. The nice thing, and you see this in the studio tour, but the nice thing about having more space in the studio is that it lets me, you know, move things around and just dry things over there and prepare stuff. And when I do, this is definitely a zine construct. This is definitely a leftover zine book from when I was teaching some kids this weekend. Yeah, we had a great time this weekend with family there. And the kids there, second cousins are cousins? I'm not sure how it works. Anyways, they're really doing something, making this camp come together. So very good fun. But Lori and I needed a break, so that helped us a lot. It's been a lot the last so many months. All right, so there's, ooh, look at that. I'm gonna shake that guy around. Now, I've got another piece of paper underneath. I'm really not worried about it because we're going to do some of this on there as well. So here's our second page. You can see how it's in the cracks and stuff. I kind of like that. So I'm going to put that over there to dry. So we've got a couple of zines that are going to have not only the grid pattern, but some slap and dragon on them. And then, so this is a leftover layout page that I was testing some watercolor graphing on, and so we're going to use this as well. Now we've done a couple reds, so let's switch over to a we got a brown. Now the Sharpie that I drew on this plastic is holding on really well. That's impressive. Okay, so I've got this brown ink now, and these are Higgins water solubles. Well, that's all right. I'm not. Some people have an aversion to working with water soluble because they like the permanence when they put something down. But sometimes that bleed of the water soluble into whatever you're putting over top of it affords you interesting opportunities. So let's move this, smooch this all around. Spread it all out. So it's a fun process, this, because unless you don't like chaos, right? Unless you have an aversion to chaos. I do not. But some of this texturing that's in here, oh, gravy. That's some fun stuff. So I'll put that to go over there to dry. Got a sheet of, a couple of more sheets of a smushy smush here. Here we are. Now I've got a couple pieces of cardstock, a nice lined piece, and a a mixed media piece here that we're going to do next. So I'll put this across there. So slap and drag is where you put the plastic, or you put some ink on the plastic, and then you put some water on top of that in order to break it up a little bit. And then you drag that across the page. Now I've got, I'm working out of a jar here right now. So I'm going to pick it up with this brush. This is what was initially a lavender color, and I think it's been maligned a little bit, quite a bit over time, but that's all right. The world turns. Okay, so I've got some lavender here, and I'm gonna, which is a really pretty color when I think about it. So, gotta spritz some water on that. So you can see we've got some texture here. Don't tear your paper when smack and drag. Yeah, that first one was great. But it was all, that's all folded paper, so that was sort of pretty expected. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome aboard. Okay, so we're going to drag this guy. Now, hoping that it picks up all of this texture and the acrylic paint that's down here will work a bit like a resist. Some of the papers that you see on this, I got Dee Dee here with me, came from Dee Dee. She sent them in the mail, some of these fun little tissue papers that you see incorporated on this surface. So thank you, Dee Dee, for those. Check out Dee Dee's stream Mondays and Wednesdays. I've been so swamped I haven't had a chance to do that for a few weeks now. I'm missing her. So here is some interesting stuff coming through there. And we're going to have to let this one dry as well. I was hoping I'd get a little bit of activity in there, but not so much. So let's try this. Let's do a little bit of this. I've got some brush loaded up on, or some ink loaded up on this brush. Got some brush loaded up on this ink. So we'll just cheat a little bit and smush some in there, just so you can see that that's onion bag. That's what I call it anyways. It's the bag your onions come in. Glued down there. I've got some postcard stuff left over. I think we might do something with that, but I want to do a few more of these just to prep myself and have a bunch of things ready to work on. So I'm going to go back to, is that the only lavender we did? We better do another lavender, you know, for the kids back home. I'm supposed to put the ink right on the paper. So this is again a jarred ink, which is why I'm using a brush. I'll come back in with our spritzer. Oh, Dee Dee, your envelope arrived for Tim. I'll take it to him around. I'll be very happy. Super cool. Yeah, we mailed a bunch of stuff out to folks, and most people got it. We've only got one back, and I didn't make it in time for the zine swap. So I've got a whole bunch of extra zines that we'll be doing something with. But all those people that bought a copy of one page and took a picture of themselves holding it up, or a picture of the book held up, they got some zines in the mail. Thank you to those folks. Okay, so there's some lavender down on this surface, and I'm going to play a little bit more with this as well. Let's just do a little bit more on this side. Man, I slapped that dragon. Anyways. So there's this page. We'll let him dry over here. We got a whole bunch of paper drying in here, but we got the room to do it, so that's all right. I'll put the lid on this. Always put the lid on your inks, folks. If you don't, you'll find out why. Okay, so I've done a couple of reds. I've done a couple of lavenders. I only did one brown. Let's do another one brown, and we've got a couple more to do here, and then let's get crack-a-lackin' and see who's dry and ready to roll. So these are Higgins inks that I'm using. They're inexpensive ink. You know what we can do is be really cheeky and put some red in this too. I'm very cheeky. That's what my friends call my whiskers. Hey Susanna, welcome aboard. Yeah, big old blob ink. Wishing them around. It's the blob. Run for your lives. Run to a cinema. Don't. No, don't. That's exactly where the blob is looking for you. I've seen that documentary. The original documentary starred Steve McQueen. Beefcake. That guy's career took off like a bullet. I'm just so full of bad puns today. What is this? Brown? A little red. That's a nice red brown in there. So hope everybody's having a good day. I will finish this page. I will finish our xylophone page, the X Factor, after the stream today. I just the hydro shut off for whatever reason today. I don't know what Corbin was up to, earlier on today, but our hydro shut off. Did you hear that, Corbin? I'm blaming you. I think Corbin wants to say hi, everybody. You want to help today? Oh, that caught his interest. What is that? Spritzing. I see Corbin in just a sec, folks. So this grid pattern that's on here is so sometimes what I would do for book projects with clients is that I'll do a page where I lay out the pages that I'll be drawing in accordance to the overall script. And so oftentimes what I'll just do is lay out these large grid pages, and these will be different pages. But this is also a way to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 page. This is a 36 grid page. Why I would ever do a one-page story with 36 panels, I don't know. But so this is the red, and this is the brown that we've used in combination with each other, which is oh, Susanna loves that color. Oh, Linda said good work, Corbin. Hey, you got a good work, buddy. Just gonna move this over to dry. Moving it over to dry. There we go. And then let's do a couple of black ones, and then we'll get on to some drawing. What do you think of that, pal? Maybe we'll do, no, instead of black, let's go this yellow. Ooh, yellow. What are you, yellow? Yes, it is. So the color that I've done so far for the xylophone page is really intense. It's just flats, and I'm not sure if people know what flatting is when coloring a book, but it's a lot of just the base color, and so that's what you see here on this screen right now, is just the flat colors. Like Olivia Newton-John hasn't got any she needs more form in her face, and as does the Scully and Mulder characters, and these characters are just pure silhouetted value. So, you know, I got that far before the Hydra went out. Corbin is getting anxious beside me. He wants his moment in the sunshine. Want your moment in the spotlight, Buckaroo? That's a gorgeous yellow. The thing I like about Slap a Drag is that it really does clean. You really basically do clean up after yourself while you're doing it. Yolanda says, "Hey, Christopher, nice smack and drag. Thank you." So this is what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far. One more. Hi, Ariri. How you doing? Okay, so let's do this grid paper, and I've got a. Well, we'll try that too. Why not? Oh, this is my note page. Oh, yeah, we're going to do something on this sucker. All right. What are you doing? I'm going to do white on that one. But we'll just do this one more yellow on this grid paper. Now, this is really thin stuff, eh? That's why it ripped on the first one that I did on that pre-folded zine paper. So, all right. I really, really like this yellow. What do you think of that, Corbin? Corbin finds it acceptable. So that's the graph paper. If I pull it up, you can see the graph pattern through it. That's for perspective, which I've yet to use this for. Who buys a thing of graph paper and then doesn't use it for the graphs? This guy. All right, here's your moment. You going in? There's Corbin. Say hi, bud. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Camera's up there, Buckaroo. It's up top. Yeah. All right. That was it. You had your moment. Everybody's saying hi to you, buddy. Huh? He's a popular guy, this kid. I don't think there's enough juice left in that. Let's do this one. Okay, so I'm going to do white on this. So who says you can't use your old... oh, look at that. I love that alone. I just want that. I want to let that dry and do something with it, but it doesn't work that way. It's like veins. Hey, Jim. How you doing, sir? So there's probably going to pick up some of that yellow, I would think. But this is a an old textured craft paper, so you can see how it's picking up some of the texture part of it. Oh, look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I gotta love my tongue. So there we go. Some good fun in the sun on this one. I guess I picked up more than I put down. Mistake! Okay, and, well, this is here, so why not? I got this one scrap paper. I usually have a scrap paper kicking around. And this has been it for a little while. So let's just let's do something with this guy. Should probably shake this first. Shake, 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 shake that money make. So thank you everybody that were suggesting X words for yesterday's X page. The X Factor, yesterday's one-page story that's going to be, we're going to be doing something with that for the people that have bought copies of alphabet book because X is the one letter that I didn't have any pages in the book for. Alright, so here we go. We got a big clump of... I gotta destabilize that now. What's the matter, buddy? Kerbal wants to know where all the spritzing is. Okay, so the reason I did all this crazy black is that I want to try something a friend of mine was telling me about, and this is probably going to help me do it. Got ink on my ruler. I think that was a song by the Doobie Brothers. Ink on my ruler. Yamo. Did someone say X-Acto knife? No one said X-Acto knife. I'll show you the words that we got, just a sec. So there's my messy piece of plastic now. I'll have to clean that guy up. For now, we're just going to put him back down here. Alright, Corbin? So there's our crazy black smudge page. So, here's the white one that we've got. So the white ink on this paper with, it's a really thick textured craft paper. It's got all kinds of watercolor and marks from being underneath other pages. That's a great suggestion. Here's the ones that we got. I'll just show you this for those that joined in. The top one, top left corner, is Xanadu, which is why I've got Olivia Newton-John and Genghis Khan together. And then there's the actual Palace of Xanadu. But there's a couple of extra copies of that palace coming out of this printer, because that's Xerox. And then down in the bottom left corner, Chris K gave us a suggestion, of the X-Files, and beside that is the X-Men. So this is Mullion Sculder saying, I don't know what's happening, Scully, but as long as a bunch of people with superpowers don't show up. And then she says, yeah, but worry more about that haunted xylophone. So there you go. All right, so that's the page. We'll get it colored and we'll get it the story on it as well. So the last, so here's the slap and drag pages. These are 11 by 17 on a cardstock. And here's another one that's got a pre-existing grid pattern on it. That looks like a terrible situation. Terrible, just terrible. And this is graph paper, and I think Yolanda said earlier that she loves graph paper. Yep, I love graph paper. So there you go. And the two small, so you can see the graph paper up close. This is a perspective page. So what it is it has connecting lines from each side, meeting up with the grid pattern of up and down lines here. Whether it's horizontal or vertical depends on which way you turn the page. But this is an 11 by 17 sheet. So I have an entire pad of these that I don't necessarily use for perspective. So here's one of our lavender ones. Now this is on a mixed media surface that's got tissue paper that I got in the mail from Dee Dee. And then some onion bag there, and a bunch of white gesso is on this. Here is the other lavender page that we did on a heavy piece of cardstock that's got a pre-lined page. So where these divisions are here, and along the side as well, if you follow the lines across these, you can divide your page up into 9 equal panels. Okay, you can divide it into 4 panels of equal size. You can divide it down the center to have 2 equal sized panels. You can divide it down the middle to 2 equal sized panels. Or you can do it in combinations thereof and get yourself up to, this is where this comes back in, 36 panels of equal size. So this is the basic template for comic pages. And so a lot of different combinations of panel sizes that you see they're using this grid in order to do a lot of those. But I like to use a lot of different shapes and a lot of different, you know, like you can see in the page that I drew yesterday. There's, you know, the sheets of paper or random shaped panels and no panel really around Genghis or the X-Files, or a broken panel around the X-Files. So it's really just about having fun over time. So the last few things that we did here is this was a map. This is nice and dry. It sounds to me like it wants to be worked on today. This is a map piece that I did for somebody, and so I just went over top of that with a bunch of brown ink, and we can draw a page over top of this if we like today. That sounds awesome, Chris. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, this isn't helping if you bite my elbow. And then the other two are right here. Don't bite that. All right. This is This is where Aditi said, "Don't rip your paper." So these are two pre-folded zine pages. I did a whole bunch of these with the kids I was teaching on the weekend. So these are just a couple of the extras that I brought back with me. And we're going to fix this kid right now. Right, Corbin? I wish I had a better angled camera so that you could see his little paw continually smacking me as I'm working. He thinks he's helping. There we go. Fixed! How did the kids like making zine, Didi asked. They liked it a lot. They were far more engaged in what I call my first lesson. For those that haven't picked up yet on my first lesson, basically when I go into a class, one of the things that I'll do in said class is, and we can just do this right here, is that I'll sit down and the first thing that I'll draw, that's all, here it comes, is a circle, okay, at the top of the page, and then a square, and a triangle. And what I'll do is that I'll tell people that I'm talking to about drawing that if you look at these three objects and look around the room that you're in, and this applies for everybody, look around the room that you're in, and I promise you, using exaggerations of these three shapes, you can draw anything in the room that you're sitting in. Because we make everything out of the variations of basic shapes. Corbin, stop it. He's decided to be a good idea to walk I put a couple of sheets of the smack and drag on the floor, sorry, and Corbin's decided, hey, this is a great place for me to walk across. So anyways, what I say is you can take these three basic shapes and put them put any combination of these things together, and you can draw pretty much most anything. And so this is an extra little talk with one of the kids I was doing. So eventually the circle becomes a sphere, the triangle becomes a pyramid, the square becomes cube. And in combinations of those shapes, where you stretch the squares into rectangles. And there you go, Corbin. Paw printed, smack and drag, very custom. Hey? He's got his pickle. He has a little stuffed pickle he likes to play. Knitted pickle. So then I showed how you can break the human body down into basic shapes to understand how the body works. And then I showed how you can use, once you have an understanding of the shapes that make up the body, then you can start to eventually shortcut yourself here and just start drawing silhouettes based on these combinations of shapes to start figuring out form. And that's the principle that I use when I go and draw things like this, where I'll just draw the volume first, like so, and then come back in with the second value or the darker value like a pen, and outline said silhouette, or like so. And it's a quick way to do some figural studies without overly thinking too much about the actual marks within the form. Just think about the form in and of itself. And, you know, when you do things like that, eventually you start looking at objects that way, and you start figuring out that all of those things can be built and broke down into these three shapes. Kids were between 6 and 13, 12 or 13. So it's a camp. Okay. So it's funny, you know, at this point I've taught from grade 1 to post-university, like, you know, business school after regular university and things like that. And the younger ones are the ones that are always far more interested in trying anything. Because by the time you get to the university kids, almost the first thing that they all say is, I can't draw a stick figure, man. Almost all of them say it. It's the funniest thing. Okay, so here's today's thing. I can go in the book, unless anybody has a crazy suggestion on the top of their head. I'll have to write it in a book, and we can do that today. Because I'm cool like that. I groove like that. Yolanda asks, do I have any sketches of a high volume foot? Now, when you say high volume foot, do you just mean a foot with dimension? And Yolanda says, very cool sketchbook. Thanks, Yolanda. Okay, so there's... Here, let's do it on here. That's the name of my next book. I'm doing another full book. I'm finishing off Stream of Conceitedness for it to be released in December. And yesterday I showed a sneak peek of the cover. I'll show you right now, because you're all so nice and lovely. So this is the cover for Stream of Conceitedness. I think I lost some of it. There you go. Very cool sketchbook. Hiya, Jim. Welcome back. Making sure I didn't miss anything, folks. I was just joking. I was telling you about taking my son skate shopping when he was younger last time. Oh, that's right. High volume. Your son is high volume. So anyway, so that's the cover of the book that's coming out in December, folks. It's for the modern enthusiast on the move. It's Stream of Conceitedness. We're changing the logo a little bit, but this was fun. That's me getting kicked in the butt. It's a stream of consciousness book. It's 80 pages long, and the main character looks like me, so I called it Stream of Conceitedness. Anyways, let's get on to today. I was going to show you how to do a high volume book, but as I'm so gullible. Yeah, I'm getting kicked in the butt too, with that face plant. So do we have a suggestion for today, or am I picking one out of the book, folks? Because if you got one on your mind, I got something that'll stump Chris. Do a page called just called Caffeine. Yeah. So we've got Xanadu, Xerox, Xylophone, X-Files, X-Men. I didn't get Xenon or Xanthan in there, but maybe next time. We did our best to get as many as we could there. And Linda and Chris K were throwing some suggestions out, so thank you very much for those. All right, so I'll just pick something out of the book, unless anybody puts something in the chat. I'll give you a minute to do that while I'm flip-flopping away. I believe that was a hit in the 80s. Flip-flopping away. Flip-flopping away. Xena for Zed at some point. Xena for Zed. There you go. Now I could be cheeky, Yolanda, and do that as the page today. But I hear what you mean. So with the one, I moved all the inks here. I'm gonna spill something. I just know it. I just know it. for the alphabet book, I showed a number of these pages already, but I meant Xenu. All right, I'll fix that. So I showed some of these before. Zeus, nice. Like this is this is an A page, airplane. And what's really just touches my heart, my little heart, is when you look at the zoom here, you can see it actually prints, like it picks up all the tissue paper that the image of the plane is on, which I'm very pleased about. And you know, and the same goes for the texture in the tape on this archaeoastronomy page. This is blue masking tape, painter's tape, and it picks up all of that texture. There's a good example of it right there. You can see that sort of looks like water. Yeah, Xenu is a Scientology overlord. Yeah, there you go. But most people don't know that until they get to the 36th step. Yolanda's a Scientologist. So things like the electrical tape in this page, and I'm really happy with how the printing went on this. So yeah, so doing a Xenu page, and I did a page last year starring Mark Herzer, the guy who runs Scientology, being arrested. And I posted that, and I thought, well, if I don't get attacked by a cult, I don't know what will make me be attacked by a cult. But yeah, I'll fix Xenu. That's awesome. Yeah, so then this is another example of using an onion bag. So you can see all the honeycomb pattern there. And that's just a piece of onion bag glued down in the shape of a net. So, conspiracy chicken! I never did a chicken for the letter C. I'm going to have to do another book. That's just it. But we got lots of stuff done in that first one. I'm obsessed with watching ex-Scientologists. I don't know. Zeus having coffee. There we go. Xenu and Zeus having coffee? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, Linda's off. Thanks, Linda. Xenu and Zeus having coffee. There we go. That's also Yolanda. Yeah, she got 2 down. Look at that. Okay, is there any specific page that people want me to do today? Is one of those suggestions got a vote, or we've got some other things? Let's go back a bit, make sure I'm getting some of the older ones done. This is all checked off, and I think I'm. Oh, there's a highlighted one. Strip about being an inspired Don Martin style. I don't want Don Martin style. It's his style. Oh, I did this. Cat Zen Garden with Rake. I did that. I did this. Teletubbies are Power Rangers in their larval form. I gotta wake up with the checking here. I did the text message gone wrong. Backcountry families that seem at first hillbilly or secret superior scientists. See? There we go. We did another one. Good. I'll never do this page, folks. Haunted bow tie. Whoever wears it kills. That's way too complicated an idea. He says sarcastically. Spoiled space captain. Driving a car across the desert. It starts puffing blue smoke. That's fun. Holding a chicken. Holding a chicken. This is a Dee Dee quote. Dee Dee's here with us. Let's do Dee Dee's. Holding a chicken, pulls leg, out pops an egg. Alright, let's put that in I'll put that in the chat. So here's today's suggestion, folks, from Dee Dee. Spelling is hard. There's today's suggestion. Okay, holding a chicken, pulls leg, out pops. Oh, I wrote leg. It's egg, for goodness sakes. Egg. All right, there we go. Dee is not claiming that. Okay, so let's take a crack at. You see what I did there? Let's take a crack at our chicken. Our chicken page here. I know what you're thinking to yourself, Chris, that's too good an idea. I know. I hear you. Alright, I'm just going to get this out of the road. I'll mark that up. Leg equals egg. Okay, well, let's incorporate that right into the page. That's too good. So let's do that. I really like what Yolanda just gave us there. We're gonna use that. Do you remember the ad on the radio? Chicken Man, he's everywhere. I think it was a Canadian thing. I don't, but you know, I like the sound of it. Okay, so what do we got? The graphic is leg equals chicken. So let's do that. Let's just get right into it. I found a fun chicken that I'm going to draw. But in the interim, let's get this leg down. Just thinking about the structure of a leg. I'll zoom in if that makes it easier for folks to see what I'm drawing here. And I better move that a little bit because I think I'm out of frame. So there's the start of my leg. It doesn't look like a leg. Mind your own beeswax, Corbin. You see it? See the foot? Little footy going on there. Just remember that school. Clown school was probably really serious. What have I missed? Oh, one page idea. I'm sorry, Jim. I missed that. I'll write it down. One page idea. Clown school is probably really. Oh, I'm so sorry. An extremely serious clown school. That's from Jim. That's a fun one. I don't like clowns. I don't know why my thing is buzzing like crazy. Maybe it's saying, hey Chris, you're low. You should have lots of candy. No. That is a low volume foot. That is a low volume foot. So I'm using Yolanda's idea here of her graphic. There are never any protests at clown schools. I don't know. So, am I still... Oh, I'm so sorry. I moved out of frame again. I apologize. Equals. Leg equals egg. And then I'm going to use the space around this for the graphic. You just reminded me of the clip of the dog chasing the chicken. Riri just sent that to everybody. Okay, so I've got... I stepped away from this for a little while, but I started utilizing this again. I used to always use jarred ink, and then Dee Dee introduced me to legs. I remember those as well, Yolanda. Do you remember Who Wears Short Shorts? Dare to wear short shorts. I knocked into one of those legs display one time, and got into a fair bit of trouble. I just sent those containers, a number of them, just cascading about. Somebody was rather unimpressed with me for doing that, and it was completely accidental. I was, just look in one direction and walked right into it. So here's our legs and our eggs. Here for short shorts. Sounds like Burt Bacharach music. What do you think, Corbin? Huh? Do you remember those commercials? What are you doing? Stop biting at that. Okay. Get that. Get that lid, Corbin. Get it. Alright. Hot pants. Riri owned oodles of those. Nair. Oh, Nair. Nair wears short shorts? Was that a Nair commercial? What did I said Dare, yeah. Hot pants. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to write a note for myself on the back of this paper, because I got an idea where I'm going with this in the first place. Okay, so there we go. We got the start. We've got our legs equal eggs. So we've got somebody holding the chicken. That's our first part of this. We've got it in 3 parts. Holding a chicken, pulls leg, out pops egg. Okay, so holding chicken, pulls leg, out pops egg. So there's our 3. 1, 2, 3. Three parts of that suggestion. So this is just a graphic that I put together for the title card. Okay, from something that Yolanda wrote down with emojis. What came first, the chicken or the hot wings? The grill. Okay. So let's just start right off the hop with let's draw our chicken. And then we'll start filling in some of the drawing here. We'll start applying a little bit of white to it, but I want to leave, like, this is the fun part of the whole smack and drag aspect to me, is what it does within your composition. You can go back in with like a Posca pen and punch the white around the edge or in a highlight, but that white ink wash and it has the ink color below saturating through, that to me is a fun opportunity. So I did a couple of drawings that this page is going up on my Patreon, but I did some drawings while I was up there as well. And so this is the page that I did for yesterday. I just haven't posted it, but there's a couple drawings in there, like this is in the bottom left is a view from my window, and in the upper right is the view from our deck where these flowers are all peeking through. And then I painted a sign for their store at the camp there. So, but I made a page out of that. Back to the chicken. So I'm just going to draw a chicken here in the foreground, and then we will get our... So this is introducing in my head our narrator. I've just decided that this is a character I'm going to use as the vehicle for telling this story. And yeah. So you just got to find a spot to start and just get going. Don't be overly precious about stuff. The chicken or the hot wings. Landlubber jeans with 3-inch zippers. Is that a suggestion? Landlubber jeans. Or is that just something to remember? Snag, slap, smack before dragging. Yeah, I say everything under the sun other than smack, don't I? 3-inch zips. That's a suggestion from Riri. I know that you're probably just reminiscing about a piece of clothing, but that's a suggestion now. The chicken! Okay, so here we are, back in frame. I wrote that down in the book. So I'm just thinking about the shapes and allowing the... As I'm drawing in my head, what I'm considering is this is a raised edge of this, what is it called? The cowl or something like that? Or the little bit at the bottom of the chicken? The dangly bit, the business. And so with this, I'm thinking about this raised edge of that. So that's why I'm drawing in this random detail, because it lets me have a sense of the form and function. What is its function? I don't know, but I understand the form all right. There's certain crazy attributes that are on animals that you look at and go, I don't know why that's there. I just don't know. Sort of like human beings and specific body parts. So, or is this the cowl part? How dialed in is anybody on their chicken anatomy? So here's some of this crazy business on top of his noggin here. I'd ask this guy, but all I'll say is that doesn't help me at all. Both. Okay. Thank you, Riri. Riri is in the know, folks. So, I think I might come through with some ink in a second. I'm not entirely sure yet. Yolanda says, I'm not up in my chicken anatomy, sorry. What do you need, Corbin? Eh? What do you need? What? He's just harassing me in here. So here's our narrator. We're introducing him. Her. I'm so sorry. Dee Dee says, I just know my chicken conspiracies. Conspiracy chicken! So I come in with this white. That's the sound that the jar makes when I shake it. That wasn't me at all. Okay. Corbin. Okay, so I have made the mistake of piling a whole bunch of stuff up on my desk, and Corbin is back to claiming my desk as his place for sitting, to the extent that he pushes things off on me again. So just bear with me a second while I'm cleaning off some of his space. It's a detective in you, Didi. Is that what you want? Nope. He's just sitting there looking at me like, hey, that's nice. You cleaned your desk up. Good job. So I'm following in these lines that I've penciled in. And I'm just applying this really quick and choppy. You coming up, or what are you doing? Oh my goodness, cat. Ridiculous. You see a tail waving in the frame. It's not mine. Somebody is helping me today. So now I'm cutting back out of some of this smack and drag. I think it's smack, isn't it? But I like the value peeking through. This is generally one of the things I like a lot with doing mixed media, is whatever the underlying information that's there is, when it has to be incorporated into the composition, because it just peeks through. Corbin, you got a whole bunch of heart shapes from Riri. The yawn wasn't because he was yawning over there after that. That's just because he's an apathetic person. So I'm going to come back in with the black in a minute, and we'll start playing with some more lines and shapes here. Of course now, Christopher, your tail would be brunette, not orange. When I was a kid, I was a platinum blonde. And I was a platinum blonde till about the age of 11. And so much so that my father would shave my head when I was little, because people would say, oh, what a pretty young girl, because I had platinum blonde curly hair. A little Shirley Temple-ish. And as I got older, it got darker and dirtier, and at best I'm sandy blonde, like dirty coarse sand, but more than likely I'm just brown hair now. But my grandfather had this hair, and then he didn't go gray, like I'm not going gray. He just, within about a 6-month period, had white hair. His hair just went white. And I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen to me, because I'm very much like my grandfather in that I've got the nervous system disorder from that side, and the family, etc. But I'm wondering if one day I'm just going to have white hair and look like Big Lad Bagman. Hey, job in television commercials, that's not half bad. Oh no, he's bald, isn't he? He wears a white suit. I was thinking he had white hair. I get all these garbage guys confused. Okay, so here's our chicken narrator. Yes, sir. What is it? I told you could do whatever you want. But that's not helping. I have to move things. Sorry, Mr. Cat decided he wanted more room. Okay, so I'm going to grab a drink. Don't hit that. Come on, lie down. Move. Cat fighting 101. Okay, so I got this. It's a Fudenosuke pen. This is a rough one, so I thought I'd use it in this case. Hopefully this is going to make sense to folks. It's starting to look a little chickenish. There, thank you. He sat down beside me finally. The sad thing about the studio tour video that I put up on YouTube here is when people confirm that Corbin really does have 2 different cat sitting spots. Everybody knows who's in charge down here. I know you're looking at this chicken and you're thinking to yourself, have you bought life insurance? Doesn't he look like a life insurance salesman? He does on my planet. So I'll be in Toronto tomorrow, back in Toronto. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from where I am. And at the Toronto Fan Expo. I've got a couple of things I'm doing there and talking to a few people. So that'll be fun. So if you're in Toronto for that, you see a 6'6" lunatic walking by you, shout Chris and see if he looks. And if not, you meet somebody new. Riri's lurking. She's in a box. Hope that box is packed full of snacks and toys. So yeah, so I'll finish the X page after this and after the stream today, and get that posted for those who are still waiting. Hello. So this is a Fudenosuke pen. There's two. They're by Tombow. There's 2 kinds, right? There's the more blue one, which is this, and it's a hard tip, and then there's the black one, and it's a softer tip. And depending on what your preference is, in my opinion, these are easily the best inking pens that I've ever drawn with. For some reason, I just like them. I like them. Corbin likes them. Why? Everyone I've ever known likes them. Boy, this chicken needs some sleep. So I tend not to draw everything, every line and every detail when I'm penciling if I know I'm going to ink over it. You can get them at Jet Pens in the United States. Nice. You can get them at the Craft Hive in St. Thomas, Ontario. Or you can get them at Michael's. Everybody knows Mike. All kinds of places. Walmart had, I saw, carried them at one point. It's a whole wall worth of marts. People always want to know where to buy supplies. Yeah, that's a good point. There's this guy, if you're driving down Highway 4, there's a dude that's sitting there in a rocking chair at the 3rd concession crossover. Pull over and offer him a bag of jelly beans. Get back in your car and he will direct you on which direction to go. Well, that's a little too elaborate, but... So, I've been doing the read-alongs now. I'm having fun doing those. I don't know how many people have heard those yet, but there's a folder on the YouTube page, it just has one page extravaganza read-alongs, and it's me reading the silly stories and doing the different voices. And Corbin has been helping me do those. It's a lot of fun. This is a very serious bird. Boy, oh boy. But I've got another one that I'll be putting up on Patreon today, and it'll appear on YouTube tomorrow. But we've got 20 of them recorded. You know, for the kids. We put up the Universal Family and Cat Curling City Championships, and on the left hand, which is a page that I drew with my left hand. And I was trying to big smiles, big smiles. It's dental advice from vampires. So lots of fun. And then we've got we put up one of the postcards. One of the postcard streams or slideshows, and we've got some time-lapse stuff going up as well. We're just trying to shake it up. Great chicken head. Thank you. Well, thank you. See, the nice thing about this pen is the flex and the tip. Even though this is the hard tip, it still has this decent amount of flex in it so that you can have variation in the depth of your line. And I like that. And depending on the pressure you place is where you can thicken thin it. If you really want to get an idea on some of the different things you can do with volume, with the line application, I recommend looking at the paintings of Modigliani. Gesundheit. That's his name. It's gonna single gam. And we'll put our equal sign. That'll be part of our what am I thinking? Title card. Title card. All right, so. Oh, what do we got? Oh, Laura's just saying she's on her way to her mom's. Okay. Be safe. There we go. Drive safe. All right. So, holding a leg, or holding a chicken, pulls leg, out pops egg. Those are our holding a chicken, pulls leg, out pops an egg. There's our 3 parts of today's suggestion. So we've got a title card bit. We've got our narrator's voice, who's going to be incorporated throughout the page. And let's get right into the whole holding a chicken part of it. What shall we? Corbin is having a nap now. Okay, so we've got our leg and equals egg. Here's our chicken. And so let's draw our fella. Let's do a farmer. And we'll draw him holding a chicken here, as farmers are wont to do. Am I in frame? Yep, still in frame. So I'm going to put a big chicken in this fella's arms. Now, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to brag for him or anything, but this man's got a big chicken. Some of you are thinking, man, I'd like to gobble up that chicken. Wrong bird. That's a duck. Ducks go gobble gobble because I'm pretty sure it's psychiatrists that go quack. Oh, I'm gonna fall out of my own chair. So here we go. We got his shoulders in now. His neckline here. Let's go. Happy farmer. Oh, I've got. Let's see what I've got. Something I wanted to tell people about today as well. Okay, I've been going through, and I've discovered that they've now uncovered an entire family tree for Vincent van Gogh, or Van Gogh as we pronounce it. Can anybody tell me the name of Vincent van Gogh's brother who had low back pain? Low back pain, brother of Vincent van Gogh. No? I'll give you a couple seconds while I'm drawing here. Didi says Theo. No, that's the art. That's the person who had an art gallery. No, Vincent van Gogh's brother with low back pain was lumbago. Lumbago. Yep. And he had a sister that used to travel around the country, and her name was Winnie Bago. And anybody? The aunt that danced in the ballroom competitions. Tango. I could keep going. What? Right, up. Just go up there and leave me alone. Quit asking. Corwin's back on the desk again. Vincent van Gogh had an aunt who was very dizzy, and her name was Vertigo. Verdi. They called her Verdi. I'm a little bit mad at myself for how bad these are. Yeah, really got to get to the bathroom. You just, you're probably like his cousin. You gotta go. Leave that alone. Didi says it's all about the go. Yeah. Like the magician, he knew a magician. There was a magician in Vincent's family, and his name was Where Did He Go? And wah wah. So just drawing our chicken here again, and our farmer's hands. Floppy cow, floppy flippy floppy. Hey, don't bite that. It's biting my ink. Can be ink all over this place. He had a uncle who had a real problem with his digestive system, and his name was Can't Go. Oh, nice, Yolanda. His uncle in car sales, less cargo. Yeah, positive thinking family member there. And way to go! So I'm just putting in our bird. Our bird farmer. Vincent had an uncle, loved birds. His name was Flamingo. Yep. I know. So I'm going to put the second hand underneath here, where he's got the bird by the leg. Let's get the crazy legs down. Crazy legs, just like his cousin who worked at a variety store. Stop and go. So here's one hand holding the bird, and the other hand has got a hold of the leg. Edie is not claiming this chicken leg idea. She's like, this is going to get awkward. It's going to take a turn. I promise you, it's going to take a weird turn in a minute. It's great uncle, the dermatologist, Patango. Oh my goodness. I don't mean to brag or anything, but I haven't been to a dentist in 10 years. You're like, Christopher, that sounds terrible. I've seen a denturist far more often, though. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to adjust one camera for a second here, just because I think this is really important that you all see this. This is Mr. Helping, right here. Right there. You see this? You see what I'm putting up with? Get this out of the road. Here. Look at this. Look at this business. Helping. That's what he thinks it is. Helping. Alright, back to work. So here's our farmer. He's got a hold of his chicken. And he's going to pull the leg. His bigger uncle in the northern U.S., West Fargo. His other uncle, who's heavily invested in offshore drilling, Wells Fargo. Financial investments in offshore drilling. That didn't make any sense as I was coming out. He's a happy chicken farmer. Corbin smacking me in the arm saying, enough of that. No more of these bad jokes. No more of your bad yolks. It's an egg joke. This guy thinks it's funny. I should do this like a... Imagine this story has Sarah McLachlan. I will remember you in the background there. It's Aunt Mabel who worked for the government embargo. So good. Okay, so here's our farmer. He's got a hold of this here chicken. Alright, Corbin. What do you think of the chicken, buddy?
Yeah, I guess.
So I'm just going to come in and cut back some of this. But again, that color's peeked through, and I like that a lot. I'm going to tell on you, buddy. Right here. Keep that up. Tell everybody what you're doing. There we go. No, you can't even see it in that camera. I was going to put the other camera on so you can see Coburn's. He holds my arm. He does this with my arm. He has his little paw resting on it. And he pats my arm. Good job. Good job. You're drawing good chicken. Can I eat that chicken when you're done? Is that chicken for me? Oh, that is a good one. Is an aunt who retired to Florida Key Largo. So whatever's on this page, like there's some crayon and there's some pencil crayon at least. That's what this red I think is. And then we've got the ink that we put down here. You know, whatever random business is on this page, I just leave it as it is and incorporate it into our image. Because I like that challenge. And it just gives a little bit of character to it in my mind. So here's his glove. And here's his other glove. This is a leg squeezer right here. Because you started, Christopher, I'll stop now. Hey, you keep going. I can imagine how many X words I would have got if Yolanda was here yesterday. Good heavens. See, at first the X words that I kept coming up with were actually words that start with E, because I'm like, this is very exciting. He exclaimed dramatically. Oh, there's a lot of ink on that sucker. There we go. So we pretty much got all this covered. So let's put some of the background in behind him as well. Give him a good old-fashioned farm setting. Old school, right, Corbin? Background behind him looks like clouds. That's kind of cool. Well, let's incorporate that. Let's put a barn back here. And use this as our sight line. Put a tree here. We can have our clouds behind our tree. I think that the thing that helped me figuring out about drawing trees is imagine that all the tips of the tree want some sun. As soon as somebody told me that, it makes more sense how a tree works. Last night I had a big bagel. I got Madonna stuck in my head. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. It's coming through and tucking in a couple of spots here. There we go. What do you think, Corbin? He says it looks like you have all been having fun. We've been busting some rhymes. This place has been hip hop happening. So I'm just putting in the rest of this background area. And we'll put some of those details over here as well. We can make a bit of a fence here, why not? Mine move up, so sorry. And I will come through and we'll cut this out a little bit. All right. Look back here by the white. So I'll be doing at the MoneyCon in September. I'll be doing one page in person at the on 2 days, the Saturday and the Sunday there. And we're going to see if I'm going to be able to stream that while I'm there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the interwebs will be working. But we're going to try. So I'll let you know. At the very least, we'll make a video of it. We'll record it. Have some fun about it. So I'm going to come back in with the that black pen in a second and start chopping in some of these details in his outfit here. So even after this this white ink dries, many of these colors and details will still peek through. And now I know that for some that I would be, no, you got to make sure it's opaque and cover it up. But I like that stuff. I like visual complexity. So we tend to, illustrate the things that we ourselves enjoy. Okay, so while that area around him is drying, even though some of the chicken and stuff is still drying, I'm going to start into some of these details. So, holding a chicken is now check off of our list of 3 do's from the suggestion as claimed by no one to having been made. So we're just picking out the little bit of details. Tropical, the island breeze, all the nature wild and free. This is where I long to be. It's that bonita. Hey, that sounds like what I just sang. I didn't know that she was a fan of that tropical drink. she's had a pretty good career for somebody who's just covering a lot of Weird Al songs. Might have that backwards. Oh, Yolanda said she had to Google it. It's amazing how when you look back on a lot of these older songs in the 80s and 90s, and while you might not, depending on your age, have picked up on some of their complexities, in the 80s and I mean, you know, even before that, you've got songs like, you know, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, he's got a brand new key. That song is very risque. But a lot of those 80s songs, I feel like maybe I just missed the bleeding obvious, or they were hidden a little better, but the latest one that had just dawned on Lori and I about was Physical by Olivia Newton-John. That video is, hello. Well, everybody's giving Weird Al some love. He's got one of the best opening songs in a rock tune. If you don't believe me, listen to Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al. That's one of the greatest opening lines in rock and roll. Puts a lot of songwriters to shame, that guy, with his things he comes up with. I love Weird Al's alternative polka. Nice. I like Dare to Be Stupid. That's still my favorite song of his. Put down that chainsaw and listen to me. It's just such a ridiculous opening song. Like opening line of a song. So here we go with our farmer coming in now with his chicken. He's taking things well in hand. So this is going to be a fun one to finish, I think. So the mixed media surfaces that I put together today, I'm excited to be working on in the next little bit. I did some more jelly plating recently that added a bunch of stuff to the mix again. I don't want to, like, I tend to like to have stuff around the studio ready to go. I don't want to overthink things, and so if I just see, oh, grab that, and away we go, and that for me eliminates some of the hesitation maybe that you can get caught up in. Oh, what if I make a mistake? And so oftentimes I showed this to the kids on the weekend, is that a lot of people have seen me do this, where oftentimes I'll scribble on a piece of paper, or I'll modify the surface of the paper, like, you know, smack and drag or whatever else. And you know, if you've already done that to your page, what are you worried about wrecking stuff for? Because, you know, to some people you've already made a mess of it. So let it go. Start your drawing. That's going to fit into you know, great artistic quotes by Christopher Ron C. Mann. Right up there with, for why not for the first 5 lines you draw, just close your eyes. The first 3 lines I do in any given drawing, my eyes are closed. That way I'm pretty sure I can't get any worse than that. So there's our farmer holding a chicken. Great chicken man, Chris. Thank you, Yolanda. He's very happy with his chicken. Her name's Lurleen, and they've been together for, many a moon. I'll have to check that out then. Yeah, alternative folk is amazing. I talked about this again, recently. My favorite music video by Weird Al is Like a Surgeon, because he almost shot for shot recreates Madonna's video that song's based on. But he does everything that Madonna does in her version. And it is so incredibly funny. Okay, so here's our happy farmer holding his chicken. So now we've got... Let's zoom out! Zoom out! So now we've got our first... Sorry, Corbin. Our first 3 images. For those that are wondering, this is Corbin. Right here. This is Corbin. Attack cat! Attack! Attack cat! And Like a Surgeon is awesome. Edith's funny too. Yeah, he does the same thing with Michael Jackson's video as well, but it's... I mean, even still, Like a Surgeon all the way, because all of the little writhing about on a stage and carrying on, he does the same things, where she's got the long gloves on in her fancy dress. He's snapping on the surgical gloves. Like, it's just... It strips the whole, carnal nature of the other one, and I find that so next level brilliant that I can't get over it. And I think that anybody that wants to do farcical stuff is hard pressed to top that, because my goodness. So I'm just gonna get some weight in between these separations here, these feathers. There we go. It just gives a little something to the chickens. Hair? Feathers. Feathers. Hair. Good heavens. Boy, oh boy, where my girlish figure goes. Anyways, let's get the chicken up front and center. Spotlight. It's a song about a chicken by Neil Diamond. Incredible song lyrics that have been mistaken. Episode 6, Neil Diamond. Let go over here, let go over there. I'm dancing in my underwear. No? So I'm just going over some of these spots with the white again, just to give a little more opacity to those certain areas. This cow's got a lot of volume. Okay. Just going over those certain little white spots on a second time makes them a little more opaque. Makes them pop out just a little bit more. Okay, so we've got our chicken, our farmer holding said chicken, and by the leg, and now we're going to have him Well, pull the leg. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Just trying to think of how to go about if we go back to the overall image. How do I go about the next stage of this thing? And I really want to have him doing something pretty ridiculous. But let's go. All right, let's draw. Let's do a zoom in on the farmer. I want to go to old ha ha ha. And then I'll cut that back out as well. That's the fun part about using white when you've got an already modified surface, is that you can come back in and you're basically reinstating that background. So we're going to zoom in on our happy farmer. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me zoom in on the image. How's that? Stop kissing my arm, Corbin. Somebody's cat is being fussy. So we got our happy farmer. Talking about being locked and loaded. So, I may well do a fun stream this weekend. My brother-in-law John is down, and so we might have John on the stream with us, as we usually try to do. Oh, Tim's favorite Weird Al song is Money for Nothing. Nice. Weird Al's a lot of fun. I like a lot of comedians that do music, but there was a Canadian group named Corky and the Juice Pigs that they did some musical numbers that would just crack me up so much. And if you get a chance, look up Corky, C-O-R-K-Y, and the Juice Pigs on Jus pour Rire, just for laughs. And you'll see what I mean. They're ridiculous. But they'll do their own song, and then they'll do their own song as if it was sang by a whole bunch of larger name performers like Van Morrison and Bob Dylan and the Cars, and boy, it's funny. So I'm just drawing in our farmer guy here as he's having himself a good old chuckle about what, because if you've ever been to a farm, depending on if you've ever grown up in a farming community, one of the beautiful things that I've always loved is, if you've got somebody like old man Johnson, he spends a lot of time in his farm, and he's just excited when someone comes to visit. And he'll show you things, and he'll go, take a look at this here. Now pull this chicken's leg. Shoot an egg right across that yard. And he's having a hoot. And you're like, how long you been doing this? About 3 days. They go down building. I'm like, what in the world is that? You know, I've had friends on farms who are like, check it out. What have you done to this pickup truck? You know, I'm turning it into a go-kart. I'm like, oh my goodness. Unerringly, any fella left with too much time is going to do something goofy. Let me rephrase that. He's going to do something that makes his partner look at him and wonder if he's going to survive it. Okay, so here we go. We got a little close-up on our farmer here. Gotta make sure we give him his receding hairline. So just gonna follow the shape of the forehead, the top of the head there. And then we had that. If we look back at our previous image of him, and the hairline that he has there, we want to make sure that we keep that in place. We got the squinty eyes. We got that back in place. So just a little more detail because we're zooming in. The camera of our imagination. I described that as though it was narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson. The camera of our imagination. I guess that's more of a Carl Sagan there. Alright, so we'll fill this hair in as we go, but we got the gist of it. So I'm going to have him say, hey, here we go. Billions and billions of chickens. Carl Sagan impressions are one of those things that I can do that nobody knows what compression I'm doing. Take, for instance, a thousand opportunities for chickens themselves to be spread and multiplied across the world, overtaking humanity, leaps and bounds. And that's no clucking matter. Well, Carl Sagan for you there, folks. My brother used to do Carl impressions too. We are like specks of dust in a universe so vast and removed from any notion of measurement which we can quantify. Love Carl Sagan. Neil deGrasse Tyson's good too. Yeah. Join me on a spaceship of the imagination. They had to remake Cosmos years later because, you know, a lot of the data that, we would express in that first series made way back when had become no longer valid. We understood a little bit more about the things that we were investigating. So, new show. So I'm going to use some of that brown in there in the eye. I want to cover it all up because I want it to help me with the shadow. So there's our neckline, and then we'll take a look and see what we've got going here. On the eyes, let's come back in and carve some of that out. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out today. I hope you guys are liking this. So now we've got the farmer starting to give his instruction as to the nifty thing he's discovered that he can do with the chickens on his farm, which is a loaded way to start up this description. Hey, keep it clean for the kids. Okay, so there's our farmer guy. I'll come back in there with the black line art now, and we got the top half of the page already done. My goodness. We're cooking the gasoline. So I gotta be careful not to touch, places where I've got the ink. There we are. Happy, happy, happy. You're kind of, and I'm not saying your brother's necessarily a nerd, Yolanda, but you're kind of a different crowd. You're like, some people are like, oh, I can do fantastic impressions of Mork and Mindy. And I'm like, check out my Carl Sagan. And it says, thanks for entertaining us. I got a guy. Hey, thanks for coming and hanging out, Yolanda. So there's our guy coming back in. See you later. Nope. Brother's a Trekkie nerd. As a Star Wars guy. Okay, so there's our farmer coming in. And now that I think about it, the Jeff Goldblum voice isn't too far from the Carl Sagan. Just putting his hairline in there, and let's see what we're looking at here. Just throwing some more quick lines up. So whatever was on this page before, it's just becoming part of this now. Oh, see, that white got me. It's a big glob of white ink there. Okay. We're gonna have a classic song by Corbin in a second. Corbin's gonna grab the karaoke mic. Can you sing karaoke? I don't think he's gonna do it. Looking like he's gonna chicken out. Come on, Corbin. You can do some Roger Miller. My uncle used to love me, but your dad. Chicken ain't chicken, chicken good fried. Keep on the sunny side. My uncle used to love me, but your dad. Okay, so here's our wide shot. Here's where we are so far with our page. So there's our 4 images we've got put together. I'll clean up, put some background on this fella, but this is a good start for our holding chicken pulls leg out pops egg suggested by person unknown. So there we go. So that's that'll be page 233 this year. Yeah. Okay, well, I think I'm pretty pleased with how this is going. But I better go and do some things. So, thank you very much, everybody, for coming by. I hope you've had some fun. If you get a chance, if you've picked up a copy of Alphabet Book or One Page Story Extravaganza, please leave a review on the site and on the Amazon page. And if you hold a picture up of yourself and send it to me, with your address, crazy things will happen. Okay, folks, this is about it for me. I will be finishing this page right after the stream, so I will be putting this up on all the social media very soon, as well as those of you that follow my Patreon. You get to see the One Page Story read along video of me reading the pages that I've done with all the silly voices this afternoon. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. I hope you have a great day. I will be back for sure on Tuesday, but very well likely I will be streaming on Sunday with my brother-in-law John. Okay, I will talk to you later on. Thanks very much, folks. Bye for now.